Between two of us per encounter.
Phew. I can tell you didn't spend the conquest in a diplomat's tent.
The fighter surveys the fresh corpses and nods with satisfaction.
Though you did a fair amount of feasting in the second year of the conquest, as I recall. A few of my mates and I caroused with this apex scum thanks to your good faith gesture. A pity this lot won't be around to remember the good old days.
During the Apex campaign, you allowed the Scarlet Chorus to set the war aside and take part in a beloved tier's pastime. This fostered a sense of mercy and goodwill between the gang and the locals, leading to more orderly surrender and conscription later.
I'm Verse, by the way. But there are more important things to take care of than introductions. Those Vendrian guard we killed didn't come alone.
Why are the Vendrian Guard attacking now?
My guess. The Vendrian Guard are testing our strength in battle, learning how we perform before they organize a real offensive. That or they're really, really desperate to get beyond the mountains and couldn't wait until nightfall.
I'm ready if you
Eager. I like that. Before we go, you might search among the remains. No reason to pity the fallen. Before long, we might wish we'd joined them here. But at least we'll enjoy heavy pockets and warm toes. For the voices of Nerat!
Verse furrows her brow and focuses down on the battle to come.
Right. You got it. On it.
Eyes forward, no looking back. The Vendrian Guard warrior roars with his phalanx held high, his words largely lost over the din of combat. The phalanx is an enduring symbol of military life in the tiers, adapted from the agrarian scythe of Azure. This carved blade was in ages past the weapons of peasants forced into battle. In the last century, the nobles of Apex took a liking to the weapon, as it has since become a tool. Took a liking to the weapon and has since become the weapon all serious Vendrian Guard warriors endeavor to master. You, as his attention lands on you, a double take of recognition comes over the man's face. The peacefinder from the war, you've come once again to talk peace, it seems you're too late. The people of Apex know you as peacefinder for your efforts to negotiate a surrender from the Vendrian Guard, saving them from the costly conclusion to an inevitable defeat. You met only a fraction of the Vendrian Guard in person, but nearly all of them watched their captains bow to you. It would seem your reputation precedes you. Drop your weapon, perhaps we can settle this without bloodshed. We knew that violating the surrender meant an end to what little mercy and goodwill Kairos' forces have or ever will show us. Now there's no turning back. He shakes his head with a frown. I know you tried to do right by us in the past, but now you're between us and the way out. Nothing personal. Fatebinder, did I hear you correctly? Maybe you misunderstood why we're here. As he signals his men to charge, the sound of chanting rises from south, drawing his attention. Scarlet reinforcements, hurry! Okay, here's what we'll do. Run down the Oathbreakers, let none escape. From the red mob of reinforcements from the south, a blood chanter emerges at the head of the rabble, the ornamental crest of her staff pulsating with crimson tones. Signing sigils of magic and wordlessly moving her mouth, the blood chanter scribes a series of spells into the air. A red glow surrounds the Vendrian Guard warriors as the chanter's magic worms its way into their minds, blinding them with rage. Hold your position, all of you. You there, keep to the path. The warrior gestures along the canyon trail, but his soldiers turn their attention to the Scarlet Chorus, roaring challenges. No, don't engage him, we need to run. His orders falling on deaf ears, the warriors reluctantly ready his weapon.
I'm not.
Okay, so here you should rush down. I'll hold up here.
Will do. I got it. Will do. I don't think so. What the fuck is wrong with my weapon?
Come quick, we have a situation on the cliffside. They have the commander.
Will do. I got it. Sorry, I can't.
What a guy. Stow your weapons, or we find out how long a man screams before hitting the ravine below. Cornered between a precipitous drop and a band of angry soldiers, the Oathbreaker warrior holds a disfavored officer at a knife's point. Skewer him, worry not for me, Graven Ash will protect. The disfavored officer winces, blood seeping from the seams of his bracers and cuirass. You heard the man, he plainly invited you to use that little blade of yours. What are you waiting for? Permission from your pimp. This blade, with a jerk of the knife, he slices off a clump of Drastis matted hair. If you're so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. And I get this because it's a conquest, because I chose something in the conquest. I'm Archara. My name should be known to you, and it should be an honorable one. Please give me that knife. You are Tunan's envoy. He watches you closely for a long moment until his posture slackens. He lowers his knives. If you will vouch for my safety, then I'll. His sentence is halted with a spear thrust into his lung, leaping forward the moment Tyrell lowers his blade. The disfavored forward slaughter the Oathbreaker. Dazed but alive, Drastis let out a long sigh and struggled to his feet. I offered that man mercy and you made a liar out of me. But these Mongols require a firm hand, they can't be trusted. And my honor is dear to me as your sword is to you. Do not forget that a second time. I understand, my apologies. It will not happen again. Kairos be praised, that Oathbreaker fought with the rage of Karn himself. Drastis slides a trembling hand along the cut on his neck. Thank you, Fatebinder. I thought today was my last. From the look of it, guess they thought if they swarmed the pass, maybe one might make it out. We found a few scraps of parchment on the bodies. Drastis holds out a handful of crumpled parchments for your inspection. A student of letters such as yourself should be able to make sense of this. Literacy is rare in the Northern Empire, where the disfavored are born and trained. Time spent reading and writing is, after all, not spent sparring and readying one's body and mind for battle. I'll examine the parchment. Repeating the same messages in different written scripts, the parchments explain Vendrian Guard's desire to overthrow Kairos' Archons and rout their armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed to any specific reader, but rather openly invites all who remain loyal to the younger realms to gather at Vendrian's Well. Recruitment material. They were trying to bring more traders to fight. Well, from the look of it, we kept them from slipping out of the valley. Whatever they hope to accomplish, I think their plan died here. The Archons are expecting from you. When you're ready, leave by the gate to the southwest and follow the trails downslope for a few hours. You'll see the campfires leagues away. Can't miss it. Something else. What's up here? Ooh, give me. Bye.
Yes.
Fatebinder, we are honored by your presence. Need something? What's the situation here in Vendrian's Well? The Oathbreakers hold the citadel at the heart of the valley, the one built around the base of the spire. Aurora points east, towards the tower in the distance. The Matani River has been our largest headache during the siege. It's unsafe for armored troops to ford, save at key locations. The enemy knows this as well as we do. I know we'd be a lot further along the Scarlet Chorus. I know we'd be a lot farther along if the Scarlet Chorus uses its alleged strength and numbers to ford the river themselves and overwhelm the enemy. Aurora looks at Verse with a disapproving air. As it is, we might as well take the valley slowly and advance the Disfavored's bulwark, since that's where real work gets done. Because all it takes is numbers to cross the river under a hail of arrows. If the Disfavored were quicker to act, maybe the Vendrian Guard wouldn't be so trained up to face us. If either of you is correct, the campaign would be over, and I wouldn't be here. A fair point. The Legion is eager to gain some perspective on our quarrels. Consequently, I tracked my previous remark. Really? Because I don't. Next time you say something, try to mean it. Great character, great character. That's all. Carry on. She taps her gauntlet to her breastplate in a salute. Have a pleasant siege, Fatebinder.
Sorry, I can't.
Fatebinder, it's a pleasure to have you join us. You never really know if one of Tunon's officers is battle ready until fighting breaks out. She nods with approval. You can clearly hold your own in a fight. A broad-shouldered, disfavored soldier snaps to a salute, and thank Kairos for that. There's been too much talk of late and not enough action. The Archon of War is planning his next move. Would you have him hasten his plans for your impatience? The superior officer glowers through the cap in her helmet. Never mind, ma'am. Gary Van Ash protects. She holds her salute with a tightly clenched fist. I'm just eager to see the Vendrian Guard buried under their own patched defenses. Need something? Why hasn't the siege been resolved? It's because the Scarlet Corps scoff at the Great General's plans, and they aren't carrying their weight. They should be using their great numbers to patrol and harass the enemy, if you ask me. I think they're intentionally going easy on the Oathbreakers. She grinds her fists into her palm. Even if they listen to us, are they even capable of following orders? The Scarlet Corps don't even have a chain of command. Just a rabble of gang bosses cutting each other's throats for advancement. Pissing on the Disfavored is like a badge of honor, if you don't mind me saying. As you were.
You got it.
Tell me about the Disfavored. We are the proud elite of Kairos' military strength. Selected from the finest northern stock and hammered against the anvil of war. If you want to put that in perspective, the Disfavored are a sword. Forged with care, then polished and sharpened to perfection. She clears the throat. The Scarlet Corps are more of a rusty pitchfork dredged out of a swamp, effective in large numbers but easily outclassed. As you were, that's all. The prisoner says his name is Tarkus Demos? Drastus lets out a long sigh, tapping his gauntlet finger to his temple. Then I don't think this is a complicated matter. He dies. His family has been a driving force in the Vendrian Guard. Killing him should demoralize what's ever left of the Tarkus clan. All must be given a chance to. The Scarlet Corps mage falls short, her eyes widen at the recognition of your face. You? I see how it is. Have you come once again to deny us our right? How do you expect us to fight if we are denied our right to claim new blood? We'd let you take the prisoner, but you can't control them. You send these conscripts out on patrol, they never return, defecting all over again. I can't let this nonsense strategy continue. Well, I insist the Oathbreakers be taken to the voices of Nerat, leaving us at an impasse. Fortunately, we have a Fatebinder here to settle the matter for us. The Chancellor turns to you with an expectant smile creeping across her face. So what do you say? What should become of this prisoner? The Corps should be allowed its chance to take new warriors. This is the sort of nonsense that got us into this mess we're in now. If we keep showing mercy to these mongrels, they'll just bite us time and time again. If you will calm your nerves, I assure you, this one won't be put on the battlefield. Make sure the prisoner is taken straight to the voices of Nerat. I won't keep you here any longer, Fatebinder. I know you have important business in the valley. Drastus salutes you, his iron gauntlet wrapping against his breastplate, for the glory of Kairos. There we go.
You got it.
That's
Can't
not me.
do that.
Why can't I do that? Hail Kairos, and the glory to the voices of Nerat. The Scarlet Soldier nods to you, her brow furrowed in concentration. I take it you're just the goat for everyone's talking about. Are you getting the lay of the ruins or just avoiding the Archons? We picked this area clean months ago. All that's left are some old stones and the prize. That prize off in the distance. She nods to the towering spire above the citadel. What do you want? What do you know about the spire? I know how to tell time by its shadow, and that it hurts my neck if I stare up at it too long. Really, it's no different from the spire in the north, big, ugly, and inaccessible. It's strange that the venturing people built their citadel around it, but there's no accounting for a taste. Farewell. Be seeing you, Fatebinder. Fatebinder, what honor to have one of Tunon's court visit our humble holdfast. Need supplies? Bursting with energy, the merchant slams her palm down on the top of a crate. If so, you come to the right place. So what will be today? She spreads out her arms and over her wares. Let's see what you have. I trust you've been granted proper stewardship over the goods you're peddling. Well, you see, Fatebinder, the merchant cranes her head to the side, scratching her neck. I think so. I've been handed these bits of scripts. She reaches over the stack to snatch a scroll case, but I'm not a worm of letters. Numbers are my strength, as you imagine. I'm sure it's all in order. Well, naturally. She winks. Just because we fight dirty doesn't mean we trade dirty. Well, most of the time, at least. How's trade? Well, this is a service outpost. This is a service posting. No profit up here in the past. That's Harchian Bronze's orders. But when we march out of the valley, I'm back on my own schedule. And here's hoping this year's a good one. The Overlord forbids the extortion of pathways. Good thing, too, because in years past I'd lose most of my profits on tolls. Couldn't turn a copper if I tried to haul long distance. Let's see what you have. Alright, mine. Oh, this is mine. Okay, he's wearing ceremonial armor, apparently. Apparently it gives me a gold. What was that? Swore I had another inventory. What is this? Okay, I can't sell that. I can sell all those. I feel like you should be wearing this. Armor. Alright. Get me some money. No buying, only selling. Come on, verse. My life for Kairos, of course.
I got it.
And I think that's all the camp. Yep, I didn't complete many of those runs. I completed only one or two. Let's head to the Disfavored camp. It'll take 2 hours, but we shall. What's going on over here? Hail, Fatebinder. The Disfavored scout nods at your approach. Camp's up ahead. Don't mind us. Just clearing out the rabble. I still don't understand what I've done to offend. I respect that these are Disfavored lands, and I'm happy to give the Legion a proper toll. But she's going on about trading rights. What nonsense is that? Am I not allowed to trade one thing for another? It's not like I'm selling weapons to angry peasants or anything of the sort. The Overlord regulates all trades. If you lack permits, your goods are forfeit. trade permit. Well, how was I mean, to whom would I speak to such a thing? Not us and not our problem. Maybe we march your butt to the bastard city and plead your case before Tunon. But we'll lighten your burden and relieve you of your wares first. That should make the long trek a bit more bearable. Anything argued before Tunon may be argued before me. What's there to discuss? We should kill the Mongrowand. The warrior pauses, placing her hand in front of her mouth. The fate binder wishes to weigh in on the matter. Courtesy demands we listen. The soldier clears his throat and looking at you expectantly. This is a disfavored matter, but I know the agents of the court do so love to throw their judgments around. Well, you could rob me and have my supplies today. The merchant grabs a flask from his cart, or you could leave me alive and have fermented honey all year long. I even know a few family recipes for painkillers and healing drugs. Certainly an army will need those. What a coincidence. Your family's recipe for wound paste smells just like the Scarlet Fury's own concoction. Where'd you steal this?
You learn something every day.
I don't. The merchant tenses up, his face flushing red. I don't know what you're getting on about. How stupid do you think I am? Slow down, I'll tell you everything, just don't hurt me. I found most of everything out in the forest of the valley. I'd keep my head low, and when I heard the sounds of combat, then I'd take a look and grab whatever I wasn't claimed first by the victors. So then you stole from the disfavored dead? How else did you get your hands on that iron? The scout points to the merchant's cart. You would come here and sell us our own armaments? If anything has an owner, I will return it, but the iron would have turned to rust if left in the mud of the battlefield. The disfavored are few in numbers, is that not right? You need a man like me to gather up the supplies that would otherwise go to waste. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. The disfavored will tolerate your presence, but you will pay them handsomely for such charity. We will. The disfavored soldier clears her throat with a cough before repeating herself in a more upbeat manner. We will. It sickens me to make exceptions for this Volker, but if you'll supply the disfavored without profit, perhaps this indiscretion is for the best. It's not like our lauders are overflowing. A work slave disgrounds provisions would be an asset. Thank you for your interceding on my behalf. I know my life will now depend on showing disfavored due gratitude for suffering my presence. If I must grovel a bit to earn my daily grain, so be it. What a reasonable man. I'll grovel a bit. That's fun. Thank you for taking down the favored from doing worse. Sad times we live in when a humble living is branded a crime. You're lucky I ran across you. Farewell. Well, I'm in your debt. Swing by soon. I just need to get my wares in order and I'll be ready for business.
On it.
Okay. Oh, slow down. I know we're both eager to watch the Archons bicker over tactics like a pair of magpies, but I need to talk to you first. What's that? The voices of Narat told me to come to you as a mediator. Considering the source, well, I can't help but feel I'm only hearing half the story. So let's have it out. What's so special about you? I'm here to deliver an edict. That makes a crazy kind of sense considering how long the siege has taxed the armies. I can understand why Kairos would send you with an edict to speed along such things. Have you read it? Do you know what it says? The Archons must claim Ascension Hall by Kairos' Day of Sword or all will perish. One more thing for the Archons to fight over. Well, thank you for cluing me in. If Kairos sends any lightning our way, just tell me when to duck. What else has the voices of Narat told you? Only I could find you in the ruins. Truthfully, I haven't picked you out. I could have picked you out of the crowd. You're the only one of us who hasn't spent the last few months bathing in the stink of the Matani River. I really ought to be meeting with the Archons. The war tent is just past up the center of the camp. One last thing, be careful around these disfavored types. They take their work seriously, and most have suffered too many blows to the head. I want to see what's this way first. Okay, fuck all. Yep.
Can't do that.
Nope, but we leveled up first. Let me... You know, just in case there's anything this way. How do I level up? Okay, there we go. I was going to say, how do I do that? Let's just get the strength up a bit. Not the save. We're going to stick with power first, of course. Oh, we're going to stick with power, of course, obviously. But leadership, defense, power, agility, range, magic. Yep, that's it. So I have these two. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Actually, I think I should. We'll do that. Kairos demands victory of vengeance as well as Fatebinder of Tunon. You are tasked with delivering Kairos' edict to the Archons of the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus. They must defeat the rebellious Venturing Guard soon, or everyone in the valley, allies and enemies alike will die. I have traveled to the Disfavored camp. Make your way southeast through the Edgering Fort, and travel to the Disfavored camp where Graven Ash and the Voices of Narat are meeting to discuss their strategy. Proclaim Kairos' edict to the Archons. Kairos' edict must be personally delivered to the Archons. Find them at the Disfavored camp. Okay, we got my reputations. You can see what they like and don't like. The Scarlet Chorus were impressed by your feisty attitude. When Karn, the Archon of Stone, destroyed the fort, you congratulated his favorite and denied Scarlet Chorus their claims for conscription. The Scarlet Chorus were annoyed by your words and actions. Wah wah. Okay, I'm not gonna read all these. They were very happy. I repaid respect. Oh, that's back and forth. They were dismayed because I was a barbarian. Respect. I'm honorable. They were pleased, noble. I'm a barbarian, apparently. Venturing Guard. They appreciate my actions. Wow, they like me. Lethian's Crossing. They were pleased. Verse be liking everything. And they just, Graven Ash and them. Spell creation. I don't know a whole lot about that. We're not going to be going into that.
On it.
Do I need to level you up?
Right. On it.
Oh wait, let's get this party structure going. Who do we have here? Step closer and prevent. Okay, well, let me make my formation. Well, look at you. Our gate crasher from the court is still one piece. The guard pounds his chest in a salute. Welcome to the Disfavored camp. Always happy to have an honored ally pay us a visit. The Gates of Judgment is the name given to the mountain pass separating the tiers from the Northern Empire. The treacherous scree slopes and deadly rock slides create nigh-high impassable barriers responsible for centuries of peace between the two regions. Kairos' army began the conquest of the tiers by smashing through the Gates of Judgment. As a young Fatebinder tasked with seeing war, you were a part of the first glorious assault. Having joined the Disfavored phalanx, you fought along the mountain slopes, proving your worth alongside the ironclad soldiers. Though you were not considered a member of the Insular Legion, those who fought with you fondly consider you one of the gate crashers, a veteran that can boast having seen the war from day one. Graven Ash protects. It is an honor to have you in our camp, Fatebinder. Sorry in advance for all the argument your presence will bring out. Hopefully it won't be like back in Stalwart with the chorus trying to claim our work slaves, just because they can't win a battle without crippling losses. Fatebinder, I think this misguided little shit just insulted my brothers and sisters. In my book, that's a dispute between armies. Are you gonna stand for that? Holy shit. These little shits just insulted my brothers and sisters. What did he say? What did he actually say? I just want to get through the gate. Go then, far be it from me to demand any property in this army. Propriety in this army of ours. Go in. The soldier gestured towards the gate. The Archons are expecting you. You'll find them in the war tent, center of the camp.
Yes.
Hail to you, guardian of the law. The man dressed in a merchant finery greets you with a smile. If you have a few excess rings weighing you down, best unburden yourself before battle. You know that if the Disfavored suffer a merchant in their camp, that must be a man selling only the finest provisions and armaments. He points to his collection of shields, rations, satchels, wineskins, and other sundries. Take a look and see if something interests you. Does it ever make you uneasy representing the Sultan in an occupier's camp? It did once. But that was before I got the measure of your patron, Archon Tune. But that was before I got the measure of your patron Archon. Tunon speaks with fairness and wisdom. Unlike many of my countrymen, I was able to make this changing of the guard as comfortable as possible. A little treachery can be profitable. Verge jostles his wares playfully, sending him scrambling to retrieve them. He does his best to recover unperturbed. Kairos is the right and proper authority of the realm, my lady. There is no treachery in that. In spite of his air of confidence, he cast a worried glance at the corner of his eyes. Let me see your wares. Let's see if we can find something you might like. Alright. Well, let's see what I got to sell. Nothing. And I ain't buying anything from you.
Sorry, I can't.
Just giving the old camp and explore.
Can't do that. Sorry, I can't.
Glory to the voices of Narat, projecting his salutations for all to hear. The grinning blood chanter raps his staff against the ground as you approach. Fatebinder Ashar Vela, I presume. His smile quickly retreats, giving way to the sour scowl. I am Bitter Quip. I am here as an emissary of the Scarlet Chorus. Bitter Quip looks at you impatiently. Farewell. Actually, I'm gonna ask him about the Scarlet Chorus. What can you tell me of the Scarlet Chorus? The chorus is the future of the tiers. I feel only derision and pity for those who fear our inevitable ascension. He looks at you with a raised eyebrow. What in particular would you like to know? What is your role in the chorus? I'm a blood chanter. My magic can turn the will of man in the tide of battle. I have held command for 3 years now, though being forced to keep an eye on the Disfavored is not a reward I envisioned for my service thus far. That is all for now. He nods. Stonius curses the air as a blade of thin iron breaks in half beneath his hammer. Firing weapons with scrap isn't why I got into the craft, but our supplies are spent. He wipes the sweat away from his brow, then gets a better look at you. Why not forge bronze? Bronze will do in a pinch, don't get me wrong. It can take a beating and get bent back into shape, unlike the stubborn iron we have here. He glances at the pile of his work with dread, and we have plenty of tin and copper lying around, so supplies aren't a problem. It's a rare smith who can churn out military-grade bronze consistently. More often than not, it comes out soft. Look around camp, we're garbing the Legion head to toe in iron because it's cheaper and easier to produce for the masses. We couldn't afford to do that. We couldn't do that with bronze. They call the Disfavored the Iron Legion for a reason. Strategy and skill may be our backbone, but our claws are made of iron. The good stuff that comes from the Smiths and Lethian's Crossing. Built in the shadow of an old wall's junction in the realm of Haven, Lethian's Crossing is a growing trading settlement. The nearby rivers are rich with iron ore, though the locals lack the technology to smelt and forge the element. In the years following Krythos' conquest of the Tiers, the population of Lethian's Crossing swelled with refugees fleeing the destruction of their homelands. The presence of the forge-bound mining the iron, along with their guards, make this makeshift settlement a vital resource for Krythos' army. You messaged an iron shortage? I'm afraid so. The last shipment was sent down to Matani, went missing near Echo Crossing. I'm afraid we won't be seeing any more now that the valley is sealed. Forge-bound iron is Tunon's responsibility. Why is this the first I'm hearing of it? Keep your voices down. Estonia flinches and lowers his own. Graven Ash doesn't want it to become a panic or pass any information to the Vendrian Guard. Best case scenario, the Umbler tied off a boat and is rusting on a riverbed. Worst case, it ends up in enemy hands. If I find myself in alcohol, I'll keep an eye out. I appreciate that, as does the great general, more than you might guess. Maybe he isn't quick to offer his thanks to outsiders, but I know he'll be grateful for your help. It would boon the war effort if our iron was recovered. You can trust me to handle this. I knew that Tunon wouldn't have dispatched you without good reason. The court isn't exactly known for gambling when the stakes are high. He glances to the crate beside him and points to a small set of notches on the wood. You see that? That's how we tell our iron or shipments apart from the rest. Inconspicuous so people don't go snooping around. You'll want to keep an eye out for these. Good looking. Good hunting. Need something else? Nope. Alright. I think I got all the camp explored. Yeah, I'll go in a sec. I am Lucius, this is Marcus. The disfavored soldier points to the armored man next to her, and you must be the Fate Binder. From under her helm, well, as one of Tunon's Fate Binders, you are a traveling deputy of the law, authorized to be judge, jury, and executioner in Tunon's absence. You have the authority over civilians and soldiers alike, though Tunon may freely destroy you should you misuse your power. Scarlet Chorus and disfavored soldiers are required to abide by your judgment, a fact that often offends those who feel they should only have to answer to the rules put forth by their archons. We've been assigned to babies. Assigned to your hospitality. Marcus quickly interjects. While you remain on disfavored grounds, if you should need a place of rest, we can make the necessary preparations. What can we do for you? How have your skills fared against the Oathbreakers, Marcus? Every battle is a reminder of the Legion's superiority. The Oathbreakers have plenty of heart, but nothing to beat our northern values and Graven Ash's love. If you ever want to enjoy that feeling, I can spare you the time of day to cross iron. Lucia, tell me about yourself. I do this. She unenthusiastically lifts up your shield. I do this. Mockingly stabs the air with her spear. Shrugs. Playing host is not my strong suit. Ignore my sarcasm. I've seen the Legion through my share of the campaign. After so much bloodshed, our pretenses of honor can wear me down. She turns a cautious eye your way. The North is my home, and I consider each and every one of the ironclad bastards in this camp my family. You won't find another army where each member of the phalanx is as beloved and cherished as the next. You seem handy with a weapon, Lucia. I'm handy in lots of ways, believes me, she winks. Weapons, though, you could say I know what I'm doing. Lucia, are you flirting with Tunon's Fate Binder? Relax, Marcus. There are plenty of camp slaves if I were to scratch an itch. Although, through the visor of her helm, you notice Lucia's eyes roving you up and down. You're in someone to warm your bedroll. Let me know. I sleep in my armor. Hope you don't mind. I could use some training. Finally, some fun. Alright, what is this? One-handed? Damn, well, too bad that's not what I'm doing. Well, if it isn't Fate Binder, Marcus, of course. Two-handed weapons. There we are. Just get those trainable ranks, why not?
You see that?
No, I don't. I do now. Let's go get it before we go in. Let's give the game an old save.
Can't do that. I got it.
That's 4 reports of avalanches in the mountains now. The Tearsmen can barely count past 9. They have neither the capacity nor the cause to close off the mountain passes. Either way, that leaves the 2nd and 4th cohort trapped outside the valley.
The Archon of War pounds his staff on the ground to punctuate his words. A large and imposing man to begin with, his profile is made larger by his hulking suit of armor and hums with mythic energy.
Or it's the work of your perfidious Earthshakers. Only a fool would not suspect a traitorous Archon of poisoning the mind of his students with sedition. We would have killed the Earthshakers Guild for their master's treachery, but I'm sure you have some perfectly valid reason for allowing them to live as your pawns.
The Archon of Secret passes the scepter between his hands as he speaks, twirling the rod in hypnotic circles. Emerald luminescence seeps from the seams of the Archon's ragged red robes. The glow is most noticeable where his neck ought to be. His mask seems to float and spin, never pivoting or bending. You hear the voices in your head. Well, hello there, Faintbinder. We'll be with you in just a moment.
Hey, watch yourself. When these two get going, you don't want to get between them.
I always know you've run out of things to say when you resort to mocking my vassals. If we are to speak of treachery, why is it that my scouts see the Scarlet Chorus warriors defecting back to the Vendrian Guard? Your fearsome reputation has gone flaccid, for it seems you cannot control your soldiers, or perhaps you simply choose not to.
My lord, the Fatebinder has arrived. This favored commander raises her voice, trying to, with little successes, speak over the Archons. Perhaps we could table this discussion and let our guest speak.
Speaking of strategic failures, who was it that insisted the valley would need only a token garrison? For some strange reason, we can't seem to recall which balding halfwit grossly underestimated the enemy. Thoughts?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mute. I was eating. The Archon of Secrets twirls his scepter in a twisting loop, his leather wrapped his hands flipping the heavy rod with effortless flow. Oh my god. Can you hear us, Faintbinder? Cough if we have your attention.
And I thought you had left agents within these Tearsmen when they surrendered. Either you failed to see this coming, or you knew and let it happen. Incompetent or in cahoots, either way, this mess has your filthy stink all over it.
The Archon of War lurches forward, resting his weight on his maul, and as blue luminescence crackles his armor.
We look forward to seeing you explain to Tunon why the Archon of War could not close the vice on this trivial little insurgency. When we are crowned the ruler of the Tears, we shall have this place renamed to Ash's Folly in your honor.
The voices of Narat tosses his scepter in and cashes it as the sun's back down. Hello, Faintbinder, we know you can hear us. Now you know. We know you know. Come on. These meetings with Ash are so boring, Cough, if we have your attention.
If I could trust the information I get from you and your conscripted mouth breathers, perhaps I'd order my cohorts around a bit more aggressively. But last time I trusted your all-clear report, my troops failed to come home.
Oh, Ash, old boy. If you're going to have a little sob every time one of your nieces or nephews dies to the Tearsmen, perhaps we should have Siren sing you some calming lullabies to help you cope with your grief.
Siren is the Archon of Song and the youngest Archon sent to conquer the Tears. Young and experienced, Siren is sworn to the voices of Narat, who uses her power of charm and manipulation to swell the ranks of Scarlet Chorus with volunteers. Suit yourself, Faintbiter, the more you ignore us. Hold your tongue. I will not have you denigrate the honor of our fallen brethren. The commander's hand moves to the hilt of her blade. Though the weapon stays sheathed, I'd be doing all of us a favor if I cracked open that excuse for her head. They bicker like children, do they not? The fifth's eye, grating tenor, pierces the tension in the tent, and all eyes on the crimson spear. I meant only to say welcome to our guest, the Fatebinder. The armored retainer bows with rushed inelegance, then rises to a salute, and not a moment too soon.
Did I give you permission to speak?
The Archon of War turns to you, his blue eyes wide with anger. The many ports should you have seen depict Graven Ash with a stern, unamused contentment, he was even more taciturn in the flesh. I apologize for the sudden entrance. I've traveled a long way to be here.
Ah, the Stormcaller. Conveniently late once more. Our eyes and ears tell us you come bearing an edict. The anticipation is killing us.
My soldiers tell me you helped Commander Drotus on your way through Edring. You honor the court with your selfless cooperation, for that is the sort of camaraderie that Kairos demands of us all.
I require no thanks for doing my sworn duty.
Modesty is your prerogative, but know that cooperation and goodwill have been rarities of late. You do your Lord Tunon a great honor by aiding your cousins in the Disfavored.
No, don't mind us while you trade your gushing praise. We're sure the Fatebinder has come because our company lacks in small talk.
I come bearing an edict of Kairos.
For the second time, Brother Tunon selects you for the glory of proclamation. You should be honored. Tell us, what has the Overlord decided to unleash upon the Oathbreakers?
The Overlord's loyal servants must hold Ascension's Hall by Kairos' Day of Swords, or all in the valley shall perish. The earth sways with each word you utter, the air thickening with warmth as you pronounce the tersely phrased commandment. It's every syllable drafted by the hand of Kairos. With the edict proclaimed, your pulse quickens and the muscles in your legs, worn from the long trip down the mountains, feel renewed, the tired limbs now nearly buoyant with vigor.
The Overlord means to compel us into action. No doubt the avalanches in the mountains are part of this ultimatum. We must conquer the Oathbreakers or die in failure. There is no room for error, and no other way out of this valley alive. We'll need to advance across the Matani. We lose everything if we stand still. And we move to back up Plan Green. The Earthshakers didn't make it over the mountain in time, so we do this the hard way, Over the walls instead of through.
So you found your backbone at last! Oh, we were worried past humiliations would make you soft, timid. That was a record for you, right? A baker's dozen lost in one sortie. If you had waited for the chorus reinforcements, maybe we'd have eyes and ears on the matter.
Watch him squirm, so many tears over replaceable, expendable, useless soldiers. I miss the old Archon of War. You'd never see blood echo and a blubbering mess over a few dead killers. He'd use knuckle bones of his best disciples for jewelry, and even made a breastplate out of his dead brother's rib cage, because that's how a real man deals with grief.
You make it sound like you've been putting even the slightest effort into getting a foothold across the Matane, when all you've done is set your gangs to uncoordinated raids. You're the Archon of Secrets. Why is it you still don't know the enemy's full strength and capabilities? Maybe you know, and choose not to share.
Look, if you're afraid to send more troops against the Oathbreakers, just admit that you're a coward and allow us to take charge of the situation. The Scarlet Chorus will be happy to prove it can do what the Disfavored cannot.
I tire of your incessant heckling. The Disfavored have shouldered the brunt of this war, and I will not have you mock our sacrifices.
My lord, Barrack and his band have been drilled on the Echo assault plan. The Crescent Runner should be briefing him as we speak regarding the latest enemy movements along the river. I'll dispatch him at once. And I'll ensure the chorus stands ready to march. If the Disfavored can take the river, the chorus has the manpower to secure the outer ring of the valley.
Our soldiers clamor for battle, and at last we shall have it. Verse, we command you to continue guarding the Fatebinder. Tunon's Chosen is our honored guest, and must be shown our finest hospitality.
I won't let you down, boss. She'll get through the campaign in one piece, as long as she doesn't do anything too stupid.
The Archon twirls the scepter one last time, then taps the fifth eye on his shoulder. The two depart.
Finally, the fool and his puppet are gone. Perhaps now I can hear myself think. Rarely do I question Kairos' judgment, but I will never understand why the voices of Narot is given such authority. I shudder to think what will become of us all should Tunon favor him in the end. Though the edict threatens the Scarlet Chorus just as it threatens us, I cannot shake the feeling that our allies will work against us. You've shown your worth in war, and your name has been known to the Legion since the very beginning of this long conquest. So I'd ask that you join us this one last time, to help us wrap up this last objective. If you wish to be counted amongst the glorious, speak with the Iron Marshal. She will direct the order of battle until we are ready for the final push into the Citadel.
I'm short a few scouts, short a few soldiers, short a few everything. I'm sure my brethren will be grateful for the assistance of a skilled outsider. I'd be honored to help. The Iron Marshal salutes Graven Ash, then turns to leave the tent. I'll be at the training grounds readying the soldiers. Find me there when you're ready. She pauses to clear her throat, and though I am loath to mention it, the chorus can likely use your assistance. They won't secure the outer valley on their own. Fifth Eye will be somewhere in that rat's nest they call a camp, due east. Seek him out if you must. Fatebinder Ashar Vel, am I right? I'm Sevius, commander and third generation Disfavored. Specifically, I'm Sevius the Younger. Some folks can't keep track. The ranks say commander, but lately I'm just organizing patrols and trying to stay out of the way. You should talk to the Iron Marshal if you've something official that needs discussing. What do you need? I overheard you asking the Earthshaker where their reinforcements have gone. Is there a problem? I'm afraid so. Radix, the head of the Earthshaker, was supposed to arrive with a group of his most confident spellslingers to help break this stalemate. I don't know what's holding up the arrival, and that worries me. If you were at all inclined to lend a hand, we could use some arcane support on our side. I could lend a hand. Could you? I knew that Tunon's agent wouldn't fail us in the time of need. I'll mark down the last site of our Earthshaker reinforcements on your map. Good luck hunting, Fatebinder. Why do you think the siege has been delayed for so long? It should have been over real quick and simple. The first cohort arrived in the valley and went right for the kill, but that was before we knew the Avenging Guard had sages and that water witch on their side. A bigger problem is the Scarlet Chorus. They're eager conscripts. They eagerly conscript the Avenging Guard, but I have no proof of this. But it seems they do very little to keep a watchful eye on these drafted tiersmen. They often are sent out on patrol, and we suspect they use that opportunity to escape back to the Avenging Guard. Every Chorus conscript has a choice: live under Kairos or death under the army's boot. By all means, feel free to cut down those who chose the latter. We won't be offended. Just so we don't mistake each other, I know what I'm saying carries an implication of treachery. I'm not making a formal accusation before Tunon's agent. I'm just voicing my gut opinion on the matter. Two armies haven't worked well together in the years. Why do you think that is? Come on, Binder. Seems like asking why beasts stink. Disfavored are only too eager to deliver Kairos' peace to the tiers, while the Scarlet Chorus bring only mayhem in their wake. You tell me the Voices of Neuron has a plan and I'll take your word for it, but the Chorus seems to blunder around, never moving without purpose as we do. I wonder if we've been fighting the same war, soldier. I've seen Ash yank his precious soldiers away from more battles than he's won. If you want to call that progress, be my guest. Unless we find a way to work as one, I feel the Scarlet Chorus will step in front of Graven Ash's strategies at every turn. As far as I'm concerned, it seems like the Voices of Neuron is just here to amuse himself, while the rest of us are here to do a job. Farewell.
I got it.
Don't coddle the impact. Push back with your shield. Take the momentum. Iron Marshal Aronius, field commander of this favorite, pound her fist in the air as she calls out for the warriors on the training field. I set eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. This favorite officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden surcoat as she clears the throat. Need to stay on top of the troops or their skills will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. Judging from her uniform, this is Iron Marshal Aronius, first among equals in the Iron Guard, Graven Ash's inner circle of trusted followers, charged with being the duties of leadership, logistics, and training. There is rarely a quiet day for the second in command of the Disfavored Legion. Our warriors reacting to the edict. Kairos' ultimatum has the camp on edge. Some with dread, but most are rife with anticipation. She points to the men sparring. We have a lot of brothers and sisters to avenge, and the warriors are eager to take out that aggression. I, for one, choose to see the edict as a blessing, for it forces the generals to act, and we're long overdue. It was mentioned you're short on warriors and need help. What's the situation? I have brigades amassing along Placid, Echo Hall, and Little Tooth Crossing. The Avenging Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold a concerted three-pronged attack. I have no right to give you orders, but if we all die to Kairos' edict should we fail. So I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good help. This is the second major attack on the river, right? What happened to the last time? Defeat in detail. We carved a bloody path up the river, but at that point, everyone who charged ahead was lost. We had no chorus backup. It was just a few disfavored squads. I can't tell you exactly how they were defeated, but we lost the whole assault team. She shakes her head, letting out a long, pained sigh. We found bodies washing up the river for days. It's not often the Tearsmen put up a good fight. It's certainly made us reevaluate the number we need to take this valley. Really? Are you sure? Our scouts didn't give you all sorts of details about the enemy and you just chose to disregard our warnings? We can pass no blame after the war. Only Oathbreakers matter to us now. Quite right. Getting our emotions into the mix won't hasten this campaign. I will assist. Then our plan might just work. We are loath to work for those who do not share our training and our values, but we know that Tunon the adjudicator selects only the most capable minds for his court. I trust you will honor us all in the field. Intia will be leading the charge at Echo Call Crossing. Assisting you will be Barrack of the Stone Shield. She points to the heavily armored soldiers standing sentry at the edge of the training field. Before you ask, no, the Forgebound weren't sloshed on Dappleseed when they fitted his armor. He survived the full force of Edict of Storms, and the armor doesn't exactly come off. Tactfully, it's quite brilliant. Otherwise, it's something of a curse. Tapping her helmet twice, everyone singles to the hulking presence. Barrack, come meet the Fatebinder. The soldier steps up to resembling an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone. Likewise, good Binder.
The stone soldier heaves a heavy iron arm into a salute, his whole body clanging as he wraps his gauntlet against the twisted sheet of metal that forms his breastplate.
Eric, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
I encountered Barrick in the SWTOR campaign. Though he appears much changed, he is an excellent soldier.
You're generous to say so. I'm afraid I left the better part of myself on the killing fields of Stalwart, but it's still in my pride and honor to serve the Legion.
The Fatebinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help, and more importantly, if my worries come true, and the course tries to impede, we'll have an observer from the court on our side.
Better to work with the Honorable Binder than some chorus children.
I asked that Barry accompany you to arbitrate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Cohort. Barrick, you have been without cohort since the last battle of Stalwart. It is time we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. Ash has assigned you to the Fatebinder service. You're to assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the Fatebinder dismisses you. Is that understood? That's an order, Barrick. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. I am honored to have a member of the Iron Legion by my side. Excellent. I look forward to your success on the field. I think that's all in the camp. Okay, we got the iron, the earth shakers reinforcements. I think this is the main one. Alright, let us go. Scarlet Court. Your path is blocked by a small group of Vendrian guards. You can go no further until you deal with them.